Don't forget to join my Facebook group, TMT. I'll put the description. I just knew I had it right. I just knew I had it right.
It was the high-pitched voice for me.
I just knew I had it right. Hi, it's Kim, and I'm back for another week of 10-minute tips for your relationships. 10 minutes. So this week, I just know you're going to enjoy this episode. This episode is life lessons of marriage that I've learned and gone through for the last 35 years, 35 years. I tell you, it's been an experience, it's been a whirlwind. It's been good, it's been bad, it's been up, it's been down, but there are just about 10 things that I want to share today because I think I've probably learned a million over the years. But today I'm just going to share 10 things that I've learned over the last 34 years of marriage. I hope you enjoy it, but most of all, I hope you use it for your benefit, for your relationships, for your marriage, for your family. Just use the information. Life lesson number 1. I have learned over the years, if nothing else, I've learned how to forgive. Yes, forgiveness is vital. It's necessary. It's key to a successful relationship, a successful marriage. I mean, being a parent, being a coworker, being a sister or a brother, being a friend. Forgiveness is important. It's necessary. We have to forgive. Forgiveness is everything. So over the last 34, almost 35 years, I've learned how to forgive. And I just haven't learned how to forgive my mate, but I've learned how to forgive myself. And that's so important. Is sometimes we make mistakes and we fall, we fail, we do things we shouldn't, and we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. Forgiveness is key, and it prevents resentment in the relationship. So forgive, do it freely, give forgiveness freely. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Number 2, the second thing, another thing I've learned in this 34 years of marriage is how to share. Yes, I have had to share all my life. I'm the oldest of 5 children, and so of course, as the youngins kept being added to the family, I had to learn how to share. I had to learn how to give. I had to learn how to give and take. And in my marriage, I had to learn how to share. And so sharing is very important because when you get married to a person, they come with a family. They come with friends. They come with, things that they were doing in their life. And so you have to learn how to find your way in that and share. When we started having children, I had to learn how to share. My husband's a pastor. Oh my God, I had to learn how to share. So sharing is very important. Number 3, yes, I've learned how to communicate. I'm still learning how to communicate. But communication is very important in 34 years of marriage. Now, we didn't start out communicating just right, but we have learned how to talk to each other, listen to each other, be there for each other over the years. I really like to tell couples, talk to your mate, talk with your mate, and talk for. Yeah, talk for or speak up on your mate's behalf. Be there for them, have their back. Communication. And the hugest part of communication, we can't say it enough, is listening. You have to listen. And not just listen, but you have to listen to get an understanding, to make sure that you're really hearing what that person is trying to convey. So important. So over the last 34 years, I've learned how to communicate. Been tough, made some failures, but we're still working on it. Number 4, I've learned how to sacrifice. Yes, as a parent, you go without a lot. There's a lot of things that you go without for your children. You learn how to sacrifice. You learn how to give when you don't get. And so in a marriage, yes, you must sacrifice. There's some things that you may want. There are some ways that you may want to have, but you can't always do that. Sometimes you have to give up. You have to give up what you want to make sure that everyone gets what they need. Now, don't leave yourself out. Make sure that you get your needs met too. So sacrificing in your relationship is really important. So you want to sacrifice so you can win the relationship. Yes, sometimes you're going to give up some things. Number 5, compromise. Now, compromise is much like sacrificing, but compromising is when the two of us come together, and even though we have different opinions about the same thing or the same situation, we both agree either we're going to do it his way, we do it my way, or we find somewhere in the middle. Now, here's the thing about compromise. If his way works best, then go with his way. Go with the way that makes more sense for your relationship. Compromise. Number 6, grow up. I had to grow up. And you know what? We basically grew up together. We were so young when we got married, but there were areas that we both had to mature in. And growing up means you're going to sacrifice, that you're going to compromise. But most of all, it means that you're going to start making some mature decisions. Yeah. When you're young and you're rambunctious and, you're full of life, you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. But in a marriage, in a relationship that you're building and you're adding to with your children and maybe some real estate and cars and different things that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're growing up and that you're making really mature decisions, because you know what? You kind of pay for that stuff in the end. You think about it, there are some decisions you made way back when, if you're my age, that you might still be paying for it today. So, young couples, in your marriage, you're having fun, everything's great, but at some point we have to start maturing and we have to start thinking about our future. So grow up. Number 7 is huge. It's important. I have learned how to trust. And let me tell you something about trust. In the very beginning of a relationship, trust is just given. It's freely given. If you're not dealing with some past issues or whatnot, trust is given. But if trust is broken, then trust must be regained. And if trust is regained, then you know what? Your trust has to be maintained. So, in your relationship, if someone's giving you trust, cherish it. Treat it as a precious jewel, something that you never want to see destroyed, because it's a long road back to regaining and rebuilding trust. Number 8, choosing your battles. Oh, I say this all the time. You have to choose your battles. Everything is not a stand your ground. Everything is not an argument. Everything is not my way or the highway. You have to choose your battles. You don't want to be that couple that is always arguing about stuff, and people don't want you around because you're always arguing about stuff. No, choose your battles and choose the place where you're going to have your battles. The public is not a place for battles. Choose your battles and choose them well. Don't fight about everything and don't fight about just anything. Yes, I think some of us are used to getting our way, and so we're not very good at choosing our battles. But that comes in with the maturing part. So mature in your maturity and you're getting better at being a grown up in your relationship, you're going to have to learn how to choose those battles. Number 9. Number 9 probably should have been number 1, but it isn't. But I have learned how to pray. Over the years in my relationship, in my marriage, just the different years, 34 years, that's a long time. And so prayer has been very key and very instrumental in us finding even ground, in us maturing, us being prosperous, us prevailing, just hanging in there together. We've both had to learn how to pray. Go to God on each other's behalf and go to God together. You know, the most precious thing about praying together is you get to hear what's on your mate's heart when they pray. So prayer. And number 10, last but not least, and probably the most important one for me right now, is in these 34 years of marriage, I've learned how to teach. Whenever you learn a good lesson, whenever you get some good wisdom, you should teach it. You should share it. I've learned how to reach out and teach others. I've learned how to share my experiences and not be ashamed either. My wisdom that I've gained from those experiences, yes, teaching. So whenever you learn a good lesson, be willing to share it and teach it to others. These are my 10-minute tips. These are just 10 things that I've learned over the last 34 going on 35 years of marriage. Trust me, there are more, and we'll share those at another time. Take care and stay safe.